Suddenly, here comes Beto O'Rourke. New poll out from Reuters Ipsos, working with the University of Virginia Center for Politics, has Beto O'Rourke beating Ted Cruz by 2 points. 2 points. Huh. Now, let's not get too excited. Let me give you the numbers first. 47% of voters said that they favored O'Rourke, while 45% said that they favored Ted Cruz. Now, that poll, for clarification, has a plus or minus point margin of error. So, look, Beto might be tied with Ted Cruz, or it could be in the opposite direction with Ted Cruz ahead, or we could whisper of a dream and have Beto beating Ted Cruz by at least 4 points. Interesting. Now, this comes a day after another poll done by Quinnipiac found not so good news. They found Cruz with actually a 9-point lead. So that poll likely, obviously more favorable towards Ted Cruz, but it also shows that there is a chance. There is a chance. In fact, Larry Sabato, director of the UVA Center for Politics, told Reuters, quote, "There is a possibility that it could happen. I'm not saying probable, but it is possible. It is possible." Fascinating. Now, here's the thing. Ted Cruz is deeply unpopular. People do not like him. He is one of the least liked politicians in office. Almost everybody despises him, especially his fellow Republicans. Well, Lindsey Graham famously said in the Senate floor, a senator could shoot him and no one would convict him. No one in this room would convict that person. Nonetheless, they actually have been circling the wagons. Why? It's because they know Ted Cruz is vulnerable, and they're really scared that they're going to lose their majority in this midterm election. Okay. Now, the UVA poll also showed something interesting. Hispanic voters prefer O'Rourke over Cruz by a ratio of about 2 to 1. That is a much greater advantage than Cruz had in the Quinnipiac poll, which found that 54% of Hispanic voters supported O'Rourke and 45% backed Cruz. So Beto O'Rourke obviously getting a bigger share of the Hispanic vote, or at least in some of these polls. Now, an average of polling for the Texas Senate race produced by Real Clear Politics also showed Cruz up by 4 points. So it is possible, but it's going to be a tough race. Now, the Cook Political Report, however, does rate the race as lean Republicans. So, now look, lean Republican, you might be like, oh man, that means the Republican's probably going to win. No, it's just, they're just saying it's more likely. The thing is that changed earlier. It was solidly Republican. Now it is lean Republican, which means Beto O'Rourke has made a huge inroads. He is definitely changed the polling on this because he's ran an actually pretty good race. I mean, this should be a solidly red seat. But Ted Cruz is very, very disliked for obvious reasons. He throws his own wife under the bus. He has no spine. He pretended to stand up to Trump for about 0.2 seconds. And then, and this is why Trump was, while Trump was calling his wife ugly and then saying his dad might have killed JFK. And afterwards, I mean, we got the picture of Ted Cruz phone banking for Donald Trump. It's probably one of the saddest things you'll ever see. But that's what happened afterward. Ted Cruz has no spine. No spine. And is deeply, deeply unlikable. But here's the thing. O'Rourke is raising a lot of money. None of it from corporate PACs. And has a lot of organizations on his side. On Ted Cruz's side, again, you have a deeply unpopular president who's going to be doing a rally here for Cruz really soon. And, well, a ton of money from bankers and big corporations. Now, that has led Cruz to having very, very little to attack O'Rourke on. For example, the things that they've attacked him on are ridiculous. They dug up old photos of Beto when he was in a punk band, his mugshot from a DWI he had decades ago. And while they're going after Beto O'Rourke on that, by the way, these same Republicans are pushing a SCOTUS nominee that has very credible allegations against him that he sexually assaulted a woman in high school, allegedly. Bit of hypocrisy there. Because if you're going to go after Beto O'Rourke for getting a decades-old DWI, you can't also turn around and say, oh, look, what's the timing? But it was so long ago. Why are you bringing this up now? Little hypocrisy there. But, you know, there's more ridiculous attacks. For example, he's gonna bring in California values like dyed hair and tofu and silicon. Look, I ain't no fan of tofu. That's for sure. I'm on the side of barbecue. And I'm sure most Texans are as well. But you can like barbecue and hate Ted Cruz. I think those things are not even close, not even comparable. But no, speaking of barbecue, one of the things that Ted Cruz is actually saying is that if you guys elect Beto O'Rourke, he's going to get rid of barbecue. There go your sausages. There goes your burgers and your steaks. Gone. Your barbecue chicken. Gone. Under Beto, it's going to be barbecued soy, which is ridiculous. But that's the kind of ridiculous stuff. And that basically shows that Ted Cruz doesn't actually have any real issues to attack Beto O'Rourke on. Turns out he's running on more popular policies than the Trump tax cuts, which are deeply, deeply unpopular. He's running on healthcare. I wish he would run on Medicare for all, or at least if he supports Medicare for all, be more vocal about it. 70% of the American people support Medicare for all, but he's running on at least more popular policy than Ted Cruz is, because Ted Cruz has got nothing. So that's why he's doing these bullshit attacks. Not only that, but also Ted Cruz is sending out fundraising emails. I'm sorry, not emails. Fundraising mail, right? So this goes through the Postal Service. That looks like official government summons. Isn't that weird? But the whole idea is to trick old people into opening them. And then maybe donating to Ted Cruz. It's legal, but it's very, very, very dirty. I think all of this leads me to believe that Ted Cruz, these poll numbers are way too close for Ted Cruz's comfort, and that shows me that he is indeed desperate. He is... Look, I don't know if he's going to lose. I don't know if he's going to win. I think he's got a pretty good chance at keeping his seat. But Beto O'Rourke, that's a strong, strong challenge. And it just makes us think that maybe we can still whisper of a dream of finally sending Ted Cruz home, where he will likely look like this. Sad. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.